been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the sunrise.
Well, so this, for context, I think this is going to be like a Guardrails episode.
Yeah.
I also have a little bit of a cough. It hasn't been bad, but
Alex almost died last week.
if I turn away, that'll be why.
Hopefully Alphonic clears it up.
I think now that I'm thinking about it, we talked for 2 hours.
You
I don't think
barely
I coughed.
coughed.
Yeah. So I think we want to put up some guardrails for the show going forward, which is always difficult because it's striking a fine balance between the form and the medium, and also the intention. Because the intention is we're like, oh well, we don't want to do this because that just feels like more work, or that feels like it's adding some kind of artificial expectation or artificial veneer to the thing. And so we don't want to do that. But then at the same time, I think we can both recognize at times when, we're kind of veering into this direction too heavily or veering into this direction too heavily.
Yeah.
So this will be us trying to figure out what the show is going to look like for the next couple of months,
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to, I just, less of just a recurrent therapy session and keeping that energy and inspiration still. I don't know. What's your take on it? Put it in your words.
Yeah, for me, it's from my point of view and my experience of what I bring to the table, literally, it's sometimes just not putting any work into thinking more deeply about ideas and topics that are interesting. Again, without them being spoon-fed to me. Oh, I was reading this book and this thing is interesting and I want to talk to Alex about it. Or I sought out this book based on your recommendation or a video I watched because it has to do with art and creativity and life and all of that stuff. And so I want to try a little harder at seeking out interesting ideas that are worth talking about for 45 minutes to an hour. And that might mean literally looking for them.
Yeah.
Or creating opportunities for them to come up, whether it's going to the movies, going to an art museum, reading a book, all of that. I don't know that I've been thinking sometimes when I do those things. Is there anything from this experience that would relate to what
it feels like
we talk about on the show?
We've almost been on autopilot for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's been noticed. I mean, we still get like nice comments and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been noticed a little. It's definitely been noticed I think we're not as like pumped about it all the time. Like we'll put on an episode, we're not as pumped about it. It's just kind of like going through the motions, which like that's going to happen. We've been doing this for 2 years.
Right.
And, I don't think we have any intentions of stopping. So that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how life is. You go through periods of greater enthusiasm and lesser enthusiasm. But yeah, I kind of want to make it to where I don't want to say we're using this, use this time more productively.
Yeah.
Because that's bringing in this metaphor of like a productivity curve. And I don't want to think that, I don't think of that in this way, but just, using this to be a little more, to explore a little bit more, I think. So I have written on here State of the Union. Do we want to do a quick State of the Union and then maybe pick a potential topic, or what do you?
Yeah, let's start with State of the Union.
Okay. So what does State of the Union look like? When do we just do 5 minutes on what's going on, or?
Yeah, and sort of like give me a little bit of a container. Is it like what's just going on with me in my life? Is it what's sort of going on in the life of the show? What's going on in the world?
Maybe it's like what's going on in your life, what's going on in relation to the show a little bit.
Yeah.
And then maybe we leave with some kind of concrete, like I want to do X.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to like say goal setting, but like a bit of a, I want to do this, you know, just introducing some like accountability into our, just some kind of actionable thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll talk about my State of the Union. And this isn't like the therapy thing, like what's my emotional situation, but it's just, I mean, I'll touch on that maybe, but, so, you know, obviously we talked a lot about over the last year or so, 2 years, a little bit of upheaval in my life and sort of moving away from just cranking out videos about Final Cut Pro on my YouTube channel to getting into photography and starting a channel there. Developing different streams of revenue to try to figure out like what's the best way to be more of a curator than a promoter of things, less of an influencer / salesman and more of like someone that just helps people discover new interesting things, and there's a little bit of a financial kickback with that. So I'm just in a state right now where I'm figuring out a little bit more experimentation with stable revenue streams that help me sleep at night, where I'm not on one extreme, and to me the bad extreme, cranking out videos on my Final Cut Pro channel about products and services that I know if I talk about them, I'll just make money off of talking about them because I want to make money. But I don't really like love the thing, or I don't really care deeply about it, but I just want to make money from it. So I have spent some time developing a couple other channels that just help me creatively have a different outlet than the Final Cut channel. And I've also immersed myself more in seeking out like vintage stuff that I can either sell on e-commerce platforms or in my friend Josh's shop to develop those revenue streams. And trying to figure out how to like get that steady flow of revenue that creates a foundation that gives me more leeway to go back to reading in the mornings and exercising and making videos that are less about commerce and more about creativity and things that I'm interested in. So I feel like I'm starting to kind of hit a stride with all that, and things are better, less scary with not making enough money. So that's kind of my State of the Union. So I think part of, just to wrap up, part of what you were talking about with the phoning, did you say phoning it in? You didn't say phoning
that
it in.
energy. I mean, I don't know if that's, I guess
I can't remember if you said that. And I don't think that we were necessarily phoning it in, but maybe
on
not,
autopilot.
Yeah, on autopilot. That's what it was.
Yeah. Same idea.
I think what I had been doing before that, when we had some episodes that I was really excited about, and some topics that we discussed that were really exciting for me, all of that stuff that I was doing was such a priority that I was not allocating any bandwidth toward thinking about my experiences in the world or seeking out material, written, video, whatever, film, art, that gave me questions or ideas that I wanted to discuss on this. So things sort of got generalized, or, you know, you and I having conversations that kind of went from topic to topic without just sort of stream of consciousness, see where this goes. So I hope that if my State of the Union continues to improve, that things will go back to that. I'll be able to allocate bandwidth to cultivating better ideas and questions and topics for this. Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever really done it that way, but I think I'd like to just to see how it you know, at this point, you know, we've done 50 some odd episodes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's just see what it looks like to do 10 where we're like very focused and
Well, and I was just writing stuff down a lot more.
Yeah.
I'd be reading a book or watching videos, and I would just like, oh, that's interesting. I like that idea, and then we would, in our pre-show, be able to kind of go through that stuff and go, oh, that's interesting. And then we would launch into a show, I haven't written anything down that I'd like to talk about in
This is
quite
the
a
first
while.
time I think we've written even like, this isn't an agenda, by the way. There's 2 things on here.
Yeah, 2 things.
And one of them has been covered probably 100,000 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just bringing a little more form to it. And I think that'll help us too, because I we'll sit here and go through 3-4 hours. And that's one thing we were talking about right before we went live is, I like the idea of just being able to get this done in an hour.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, we're going to sit down and do this. And it's not going to be a big thing today.
Yeah.
But then it can be a big thing if we want it to.
I think too, part of me not writing stuff down or like harvesting my experiences in life for ideas for the show is just this feeling of like, all right, I have to pull back from exercise and reading in the morning and all this because I'm in a financial state that, has me, sort of elevated concern, or sort of I need to circle the wagons and figure out a new strategy or plan of attack to get things back to where I feel good about them again. And sort of this idea like, well, once I achieve these milestones, then I'll be allowed to allocate bandwidth and time to these other things. And I think that that's potentially a mistake, because you'll probably just get in a cycle where you're moving the goalpost. Okay.
Yeah. Once
I said that once I had this, then but now I really feel like I need to have this, and then I can.
Yeah.
And that especially pertains for me personally to like exercise, like I'm just going to keep moving the goalpost because I don't want to do it.
Well, it's funny too, how much, like, especially exercise and I mean, in your case, reading in the mornings.
Yeah.
How much that can act as a catalyst for everything else.
Right. And you were saying that earlier.
Like you're like, once I get time for that, then, once I get these other things going, then I'll go back and I'll be able to do that. But it's like, maybe that's the thing to get these other things going.
That's exactly right.
At least that's my experience with a lot of this stuff especially exercise.
Yep. No. And I think that's 100%, the thing. I am trying to align things that could be more quickly aligned if I just gave into the discipline and the stuff that I really want to do, that I'm excited about creatively.
Yeah.
Instead of like the work and hard labor and nuts and bolts stuff that I feel like I've got to get through all that. And then once I do, I'm allowed to do the fun work.
Yeah. So if you had to set like a goal or 2 off of that, would it just be kind of getting back to some of those discipline related things?
Yeah, it would even be something as simple as, well, why don't you for a month just try putting exercise, reading, and all that back in, and just see what happens. Yeah. And I talked to you about articles I want to write, or a creative video idea I have. Like, what if you just put that back into the mix and then just see what happens?
Yeah.
Both to your emotional state, your emotional well-being, but then also to results. Like, what impact does it have on results? And maybe it would need to be more than a month, but
well, we can come back in a month and
yeah.
I mean, that's another thing I kind of want to use this for more, is just, this came with our last episode. I was discussing some personal work, and you just took a beat and you're like, wouldn't discuss, like, you don't want to discuss that stuff on air because of XYZ. You feel like it creates an expectation. You were kind of like, isn't that not the worst thing?
Yeah.
And thinking about that, I'm like, you're kind of right. Like,
yeah,
you make a good point. Like, it wouldn't be the worst thing to just talk. I mean, for the 25 people that watch this shit. No, I'm just kidding. It's a little bit more than that, but it's not, it's not like a crazy amount of people. But I think that kind of accountability actually could be productive.
Yes.
And I want to start using that a little more. accountability, and also just expectation, or not expectation necessarily, but I guess real-time feedback maybe.
Yeah.
I want to take advantage of that more, because I do feel like, you know, you get caught in an echo chamber of your immediate peers and you kind of lose that sense of progress. And I don't mean a sense, again, I want to be very clear. I'm not talking about progress in the source of like, gotta be better, gotta like this very linear curve of this idea of progress, or this, you know, but progress in the sense of just, you know, setting up a foundation just for the, even if just for the purpose of like building, just making the thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I want to use this. So, you know, I want to talk about, I guess getting into my State of the Union, it's like, I want to talk about some of the more intricate things, set more realistic or, you know, tangible timelines on certain things, and yeah, hold ourselves accountable. Because it's a lot harder to be like, I'm going to do this, and then you get on and you're like, well, I haven't done any of that in a month. And you know, having to take that public accountability, I think, is something that could be valuable. And it's like, we do this show every week, might as well add that to the mix. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but
honestly, I feel like
you gave me the inspiration behind that idea. So.
Yeah. I mean, part of why we do this podcast, and you put the time into editing it, and I, you know, and I'm all over the place with putting clips up, but I never not put 3 clips up before every episode, you know, all that stuff. You nailed it this week. You had the clips up on. Yeah. I think I have all but one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to be good.
Yeah, it was great.
So just this thing existing, and you do it twice, and now all of a sudden, like, there's this, it makes, you know, again, I know I've backpedaled on like every Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, putting a new clip up, but I will never not put 3 clips up, even if it's right before we put the next episode up. I'm not going to let you down, and I'm not going to let sort of like the channel down by not doing that. So with, you know, me having my YouTube channels, part of making them is that now I have this thing that I'm accountable to, and people, you know, there's an audience growing there. There's people who comment on every video, even on my newer channels. But at the same time, like the photography work channel with sort of like the video clips and photos of the stuff I do, I haven't posted a video there in like 4 months, and it just gnaws at me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I have to be careful that I don't spawn all these public projects that then
collapse in on themselves. Almost,
right. And then it makes me go, well, I can't exercise and I can't read in the morning because you are behind on this obligation you have.
So that about character, you build a character,
exactly.
and you
That's right.
miss out on life. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I want to use this platform more effectively for that, just guiding my personal sense of expectation, I think. And yeah, I mean, I need some accountability on projects and everything. And I think we could both probably benefit from that. It seems like we've just kind of left it out there, but it is funny how much it works. Like, even if it's kind of subconscious, it's like today, even it's a Sunday, and, you know, we tried to record a couple of times, and there were just like little life happens, and life comes up, and we're like, okay. And there was never like are we not going to get this in? It was just like, when are we going to fit it in?
And how do I give you enough space to edit it, you know, because we don't have one in the hopper, I don't think. Right. Yeah.
Nope. Which is kind of nice too. It's fresh.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like about this too, because it is just, okay, fresh slate.
Yeah.
Which fall's a good time for it. Knock the leaves down, and we'll see.
But even with like back to the accountability thing, not to like turn it into a bigger beat, but you know, we haven't done our Film Photo Friday walks in a long time.
Whole summer, pretty much.
You
could say.
You and I haven't even jumped in a vehicle and gone like some of those small town outings we would do early in the morning and just go out and take photos. We haven't done any of that. I haven't gone out to do one of my photography channel videos, which was always something that I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of a backtrack or a backslide on some of that stuff that, I get. Like, you got this going on, personal life stuff, travel with, Audrey over the summer, this and that. And it's like, but then I'm also bummed. I'm like, man, we haven't.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, it dawned on me because you and I and Audrey and my kids were in Jean Leahy Mall where we usually do our little Film Photo Friday thing. And I'm looking at all the trees and I'm like, these trees got
these
big.
Are big. Yeah,
these
yeah,
are
these
big.
are large.
They're
yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, has it
We
really
used to
been
spend
that
like
long?
2 days a week there, almost guaranteed. Yeah.
And so like the fact that I hadn't been down there for that long to that specific spot and walking along the sidewalks that we were walking, that perspective, I'm like, it just completely shocked me that much change had occurred in what feels like 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, just I was hanging out and I kind of recontextualized some things about the show and everything. I think it's probably needed to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, moving on really quick, just to kind of State of the Union for myself. That's the whole idea, is to build more accountability into this. And the projects I'm working on and like things like that, being a little less concerned to talk about them, but I do kind of want you to check that I'm not. I mean, one, check in, the guilt of not doing the thing that you talked about.
Yeah,
is part of the uncomfortable benefit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I'll check in with you on have you been reading? Have you been?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, I think having that, I don't want to let this person down, or I don't want to let this group of people down.
Yeah.
It's just a powerful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I need more of that in my life. Because recently I've been sick for the last couple of weeks. So it's just been, being sick is the worst because it does mess everything up. I haven't been exercising, obviously, because I can't really
breathe.
Yeah. Can't exercise when I'm dying.
Yeah.
So, obviously I want to get that back into my routine as soon as possible. And reading, just finishing more stuff. Part of me is like, oh man, how should I track these? Or I have a book and I just write everything down, and I don't necessarily want to be publicly talking about oh, I'm reading this book and then I finish this book. Well, I think that might be helpful. I think it might be more hurtful because then you're editing your selections of books you're reading or whatever based on the expectation that is set from the public. So I think that stuff is I'll keep that private.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been reading pretty consistently. I want to get back exercising. Writing was going super well. And then, just getting routine messed up, and I'll be up all night coughing. And then by the time, you roll out of bed, and I kind of lost that time that I'd set aside for myself in the morning where I was just coming in here and writing for an hour or two, to where now it's you immediately are opening the phone and you're in work, and you have to be in work mode.
Yep.
And then, it's really hard to write after lunch or something like that, just because you're not.
Yeah, you're in a different state.
Yeah.
No, completely.
You're okay. So, that definitely hasn't been going as well as it was. And I want to get back to that. Cause I really have been focusing on one story and trying to finish one story that I've been working on for a couple of years now. And I'm just okay, let's get this done.
The end.
More more ideas are coming up, and I'm just okay, let's just work through this and get a product, and I'll share that with you eventually and get thoughts. But, you know, trying to learn that thing of, like, I mean, there's still like things that need to be written, and I'm like editing stupid stuff. It's like, it's like, this can wait.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to get like the core points in here. But yeah, I mean, that's where I am State of the Union wise, is like, I need to kind of get back into the routine that I had. And I can feel it. Like, you're just more upset and you're just like, you just don't feel the same.
What do you think? You know, for me, I look at financial insecurity as the source of me, I think, getting off of like whatever you would call a sort of a center state of consumption and creation of creativity, of books, movies, videos, nonfiction, fiction, writing my own stuff, articles, videos that are less sort of function and more interesting or creative or whatever. Like, I feel like I'm not allowed to do that stuff because I'm not making enough money. And so it's like this root cause of the problem. And I am very pragmatic in that regard. You know, I worked for tech support for Apple and help people troubleshoot their computers. I still do to this day. Like, well, you got to get to the root cause.
What's the problem?
And so, like, I just like have the little center of the universe of what I do on a daily basis is whatever's going to get you out of that state. Do you have something or things that you feel like you can attribute to the root cause of not doing what you think you should be doing or what you would prefer to be doing?
Well, I mean, so what I really want to be doing is just finish this script and make it.
Yeah.
And just have it done. And, you know, who cares if it's good or if like good or what? I just want to have it done.
Yeah.
Like, written and produced. Like, figure out, find the whatever has the short potential, make that, to test some ideas that are in there, and then go out and try. Like, I just want to go through the process with it.
Yeah.
The traditional process of, okay, have this thing, you know, does this have any potential? And then see it through to a point where I'm either like, okay, on to the next thing, or, you know, this is done. Like, this is a film that is made. And so I want to be done with this project and move on to the next one. And the whole idea behind this was like, you know, I do want this to just kind of be the thing. Like, this is like all of the, you know, all of the culmination of all of these things, not trying to like experiment too much, but just find a very basic, like, this is the foundational voice and we'll build from here.
Yeah.
Kind of what I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Just get it done, get it out, build. You can build once you have concrete laid. And so that's where I am with this. And I mean, yeah, I've talked last week, like, or a couple weeks ago, like, I'm working on other things as well, just to keep things interesting. Like, I'll jump over here, I'll work on this, and like doing different, like, writing things and projects and stuff like that. But this is the core one where I'm just like, okay, let's just get this done.
Okay.
And, I mean, no, it's just, sometimes my time gets away from me, and it's my fault.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you know, if I'm, especially in the last couple of weeks, like, I write the best first thing in the morning. And so what I need to do is be on top of my life enough to where I'm going to bed at a decent time, and I'm waking up and I've got the coffee, you know, ready to go, where all I have to do is hit the thing. And then I'm in here after 20 minutes of taking around and I'm writing.
Right.
And I can do that for 2 hours, and then I can shift it into work mode. And that's where I need to be.
So like, you might stay up till 2:00 in the morning one night and go to bed at 10 the other. And
so that's what's happening right now. And especially with this cough, like, I mean, not to like make it really, but for the last couple of weeks, I mean, that's been the problem is I can go to bed at 10.
Yeah.
And I'm still waking up at like 9.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Cause I'm just
Yeah.
I'm
Recovering.
coughing all night,
Yeah.
I'm just
you're not getting
crushed. Yeah. And and I'll still wake up and I'll feel like shit.
right.
And it's like, if you're waking up and it's at that point, at least for me, like, it's time to like, people are starting to reach out. Hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? And
For work.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if somebody's texting me, what about this? What about this? And it's 8:00, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's like 9 or 9:30 or whatever, it's okay. I need to be dealing with this.
Yep.
Like, that's where that obligation is. And it's okay. It's not like, I don't feel like I'm held down by that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there's time later in the day where I could probably like shift it or spend time, but that's just hard. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me to write at like 1:00 in the afternoon. After work, I'm sure that it could, but it's not my favorite thing to do. Usually, like, I like to, hang out, do things with Audrey, things like that.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing is not writing at that point.
Yeah.
So it just works for me to get it done in the morning.
Okay.
And so I've lost that time. And I just need to fight that back. And obviously, that's getting into sleep routine and things like that. And just getting into like, okay, like 6:30, I'm up and I'm in here and I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
And then, I need to make sure I'm making time to read, making time to exercise, just little things that give me the energy to sustain and do things over and over and over.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, is it's just me. Yeah. Like you said, if you're going to bed at 1 a.m. or something,
right,
you've jacked up that next day. And especially being sick, it's like, if I'm fine and I go to bed at 1, I'm like, okay, well, you messed yourself up, but you're going to be up at 7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be up at 6:30 tomorrow. And like, you're just not going to get that sleep. But when I'm sick, it's like, oh, I don't want this to get worse.
100%. Yeah.
So, not to give this, I'm not trying to use that as a scapegoat. Like, it's also just me.
Yeah.
Like, not making the time for the thing, but I found that's what works best. And I haven't been taking advantage of that in the last couple of weeks. And it messes everything up. Like, everything just lags a little bit when that's not dialed in.
Yeah.
So I want to get that dialed in again. And then obviously the momentum of the project will carry, from there.
Yeah.
But I have to be giving it the right amount of time and effort and energy, or else it's not going to do anything. It's just going to sit there.
Right.
So, that's the biggest thing for me. It's just like, let's get that routine dialed back in. I am a very routine oriented person. Some people can just like sit down and just jump into something when they're at any time. And I've just found that that's tough for me to do. So
how do you think it would be if you were doing it full time? If you didn't have your job? And
see, part of me is like, that would be great, but then there's also like, that's not realistic right now for me. Like, what is realistic though is doing it the way that I can actually make it work. And I've like, I've been enjoying work. Like, we've had some fun projects and there's been some interesting stuff that I've gotten to do. And, I've got more leeway over the past couple of years and things like that. So I don't know if, I obviously I'm like, man, I would love to just do this full time.
Sure. Yeah.
But part of me also kind of thinks like, if you can't get this done and made, you don't deserve to do this full time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, get this done and get this made. And, if you do it the right way and, the stars align and you are lucky, then maybe you do get that gift of being able to do something like this more full time.
Yeah.
And maybe not, but then at least I know I can do it this way too.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of just like, I've got to work with what I have, what's in front of me. And, it's not useful for me to have that, like, if I could do this, then attitude. I think it's just more, this is what I have. And let's make work.
I was mostly curious, sort of like, what do you think your day would look like if you were a full-time writer?
Oh, I'd wake up in the morning. I'd still like to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And that'd be the first thing. And then I'd probably write till, like noon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd just
Yep.
dick around,
Yeah.
watch movie, work out. But even like, I kind of like the flexibility I have right now because it's like I can work on like a project, like a more design oriented project for work or something like that. I can kind of shift that gear, and that there is a little bit of fulfillment that I've found in that as a contrast, as long as I'm doing the work on the other side.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the mix of activities.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm not like, I don't have like an accountant job or something like that. So I can't speak to that.
And it makes sense because I like the mix as well. I mean, if my sort of ideal situation would be, getting back to writing more articles that are interesting to me about stuff going on in life or this thing happening culturally and all that. But then, making a video that's more creative, making a video that's more educational, like I like switching back and forth between the type of thing it is within the form of writing or making a video, you know, doing a creative act is nice. If I was like just writing screenplays for 6 hours a day and like wasn't really doing anything else on the creation side, but then, of course, diversifying consumption, watching movies, TV shows, reading books, nonfiction, fiction, going to art installations, photography, whatever, like that would be tough. And I had that for a long time, just writing screenplays. At the same time, not to appropriate this, but I can get a little bit, obviously, where I'm doing way too much. Or you're a photographer. Okay, now you're a writer, and you're a writer, and you're making videos, you're making education. But it's like, well,
and that's the answer. Like like the time that's going towards work projects now would hopefully shift towards like full like photo projects and things like that. But yeah, for now, this is what I want to do. I want to get this thing done and made. I want to see what that feels like. To like see that through. And I mean, it's time. It's time. So, I mean, that's kind of where that is. I don't know what that looks like either. Just one step at a time is kind of all I can do. But yeah, I mean, I'd love some more accountability on the side of just like, hey, where are you? Where you at? Like, you're
not to, this is going to seem like a subject shift, but it just made me think of your YouTube channel. You're about to hit 2,000 subscribers, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if I have no enthusiasm for that right now.
Yeah, that's fine. I just saw, I think I changed a little bit of the formatting of this YouTube channel to just be like the videos and less like, I mean, there's still playlists and stuff, but I was looking at the channels that we have linked, and yours is the first one, and it was at 1.99K. I was like, dang, dude's about to hit 2,000.
About to roll over, I guess. I think I've been at 1.99 for like a year. But,
I feel like it ticked up. From like 198, obviously. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what that'll be. See, the thing is the only like feasible content route I could see right now is talking about the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
And that I kind of get to do that here. And if I did it there, I think it would turn more into like trying to monetize the idea of writing.
Yeah.
And we talked about that a little earlier today. That just seems gross to me. Like, I don't want to monetize. I don't want to be like the person who makes videos about being a writer instead of writing. Like, I just want to get this fucking project done and get this, try to get this film made. And then, once that's seen through, move to the next one.
Yeah.
Just keep my head down. And so the idea of adding like an extra layer of complication to have to, like this is plenty of accountability, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
And
we'll see.
Beyond that, I'm like, but yeah, I mean, that's the real thing with me is, hopefully next time when we sit down, maybe later this week even, I'm back in a routine and I can hold that. I want to hold it through the winter. I'd like to, just consistent. Cause I mean, if I can get 100 days of doing that,
Oh God, yeah.
I'm going to be set.
Yeah.
So I do want to start sharing the work though. And not on the podcast, I
Right.
don't think, but,
And now a staged reading.
a stage of Act 1. But yeah, I'll probably share with you a little bit more and just kind of,
Yeah.
because I want to get it I just get it moving,
Yep.
just push it. Like, I got to get over this idea that, oh, well, it's not going to be like this, or it's not going to, just like, fuck you. Just go. It's time.
Send
you're
it.
wasting time. Yeah. So, that's my State of the Union. I don't know if I missed anything, but
No,
we're
it's
at
a good
45
state.
minutes. Do you want to just pick a topic and maybe riff for 20 minutes and get out of here?
Yeah.
I think
Off
this is
the
a
board?
good. Yeah. So, okay. Do you want to give some context? I think some people know about this. Some people
Yeah.
don't.
The listeners don't know that on Alex's cabinet, he has all these 3x5 note cards with a typed statement, idea, quote
Yeah.
on it. And
Some of them have been there for like what?
long time,
5
years.
years. I mean, yeah, probably longer than that.
Yeah, a long time. I've never read them all.
Yeah. So we're thinking about picking one and then just discussing it as an easy way to kind of fix around a topic. Obviously, more of this episode has been putting up guardrails and setting an expectation. But I think, yeah, maybe that's a good way to end it.
All right, I'm gravitating towards the top right card.
Okay.
I can't see it. Yeah, I can't. Is something top right. Can you read it?
Right there.
Yeah, top right.
It says arrogance is a dangerous cliff.
Oh God. We're gonna retread into all my ego and narcissism bullshit that I talk about. And
Do you want to
worry
keep
about.
that card or do you want to switch it?
No, we got to keep it.
All right.
We can't bail on it. Say it one more time. Arrogance is a fragrance.
Is a dangerous cliff.
Dangerous fragrance.
It's a fragrant cliff.
Arrogance is a dangerous cliff.
It's also a fragrant cliff, I guess.
It's a fragrant cliff. Smells like shit.
So all of these are just little ideas that I've come across at different times, and I'll type them up and I'll put them on there. And
Yeah.
the ones at the top have been there the longest because obviously it works down. So
Yeah.
that was one of the OGs. I'm sure if you peeled that one off, there's a layer of dirt
Yeah.
in an index card shape around it. But
Wow.
yeah, what's your takeaway when you read that?
Well, I think if I took it where my first thought was, it would actually lead it away from what arrogance is, without spending a lot of time on it. Something that I think I've grappled with myself is being on the spectrum of a narcissist, and in the sense of, I think the definition of a narcissist, there's an element of it where a narcissist has grandiose thoughts about themselves. And I don't want to turn this into a thing about that, but I going back to like root cause and like trying to troubleshoot, like why are you this way or this or that or whatever. I think in those terms a lot because I am levying introspection and sort of these diagnostic tools against myself as a result of being frustrated with where I am in my life. And part of that frustration isn't just you don't have enough money or you don't have this or you haven't hit this quantitative goal, whatever. It's being plagued by that aspect of narcissism, which is this grandiose feeling about where you should be. And we talked about an episode before where I talked about indulgence versus sacrifice, and this feeling of I feel like I deserve. The bad example is being an Academy Award-winning filmmaker, but I don't want to do any of the work to actually get there.
Yeah.
And that's what that aspect of narcissism does to a person. It thinks like that should be me. I deserve that, but I shouldn't have to do all the hard work to get it.
I think that's one of our most popular episodes, by the way.
Oh, really?
When we're just like, do the work
Yeah.
or like
Oh, okay.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop
Yeah.
making.
Mm-hmm. And arrogance to me is maybe like, a form of a corrupted form of confidence, where someone who's arrogant doesn't necessarily have this grandiose, delusional idea of what status they should have in whether it's financial, artistic, social capital, whatever, but they're just so self-centered and self-absorbed that they have no ability to see anything but how the world provides them with an immediate benefit.
Yeah. Everything runs through them.
Mm-hmm. And so that inability to have any kind of empathy, introspection, self-awareness, it's just this blind allegiance to whatever you want in a given moment. And the dangerous cliff is, to me, ending up as somebody who's entirely alone, because that allegiance to your own self-interest alienates people and creates damage in those relationships that ends up putting you on the path of being on your own, completely on your own. And I think, to wrap it up, arrogance also can block a person from learning from the consequences of their action.
Yeah.
And the concern I have about narcissism is narcissists see the consequences and they don't change, but they modify their behavior to get the better long-term benefits because they learn that focusing on the short-term benefits costs them too much. And that's what I worry about for myself.
Go into that a little bit more.
If a narcissist thinks, treat somebody poorly in the moment, and they see, well, then when I do that, over time, I don't get these things in return. Maybe it's affection, maybe it's money, who knows, whatever it is. So I don't like those consequences. But I understand that if I behave in this certain way toward these people, like if I'm nice, if I'm charming, if I'm seemingly self-aware, if I'm like, if I play the part of someone who understands empathy, that will let that person's guard down. They'll feel comfortable with me. They'll open up, and then I get all of those benefits, over the long term. Even though in that moment, that person, whatever they're doing, maybe I want to be mean to them, or I want to tell them they're wrong, or I want to get upset or irritated or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think someone who's arrogant, they don't think beyond that moment, but I feel like a narcissist is way more calculating and aware of those things, and then able to perform in a way that gets them the ultimate things that they want.
Yeah.
And that's...
Is that like a reflection, or is that like just something you've observed in people that, I guess, carry narcissistic, would it be like tendencies or?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely I've crossed paths with a few and had sustained exposure to one in particular where I observed that specific aspect of what my understanding of narcissism was. Well, this person isn't really changing. They're going, oh, they're just learning and innovating on their behavior. Oh, if I apologize, it will, like, then they'll feel like I care, and then they'll give all these things to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't give a shit about
it's
actually
it's
apologizing.
Like a means to an end.
Yeah, it's a performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and this isn't me like saying like I'm a full-blown narcissist, but I do think that there's an aspect of me that's on that spectrum.
Yeah.
And we talked before the show about immortality and legacy and all that stuff. Like that stuff swirls around in there. And again, as I deploy introspection, I'm like, God, like I read an article about this guy that became a content creator around his narcissism. He sort of branded himself as like the self.
I'm a narcissist. Get into my head.
He was sort of a failure, He hadn't really sort of delivered on the promise of what he seemed capable of. And I don't know what happened. I can't remember what catalyzed it, but he started making content around his narcissism and like all of his introspection and talking about, his flaws and all this stuff. And he like got 1 million subscribers and it's a whole big thing.
Yeah.
But it just, it's like
the effective narcissist.
Yeah. It's just like you just like sort of double down on your narcissism. I think in some, you
almost feed it. I would imagine
you learned that being this combination of a self-aware narcissist is like this
cheat code,
captivating thing for people to see, and you figured it out. Like you got the financial benefit and all that stuff, and then I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know that he's actually like a better or different person. It could be making him worse. Who knows? But I read that article and I was like, because I feel like I'm very good at being self-aware and introspective, and I'm like, am I doing it because...
Is this a performance?
Well, am I doing it because a narcissistic element or a big element of my personality that's narcissistic, is that fueling that self-awareness and introspection because I want to modify my behavior to get more of what I want?
Yeah.
And it was like...
It's like a performance, but like, is this a character? Like, is this... Am I...
Well, it really goes back to the...
Am I fueling this... Or like, is this, in this example, is this trait that I've always taken as just a piece of my innate personality?
Right.
Is this actually a byproduct of...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like a moment like that David Foster Wallace speech where the fish is like, what the hell is water?
Yeah.
It felt like that. I read that article and I was like,
shit. Yeah.
Am I in water right now?
Yeah.
Like it really...
Yeah. I don't think you're I mean, I don't know. I don't.
Well, you got to watch out because narcissists can really make people feel like, they're...
For sure. I mean, then again, though, like, you and I don't have like a entirely surface level relationship.
Right.
And like, at this point we've been pretty close for, the better part of a decade at this point.
Right.
So, I mean, you're either a much more talented actor than...
Well, I'll tell you what. That's something else that I've observed in trying to diagnose behaviors and stuff is like, you think about your family and then you think about your friends. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before, but when you have moments that you're not happy with yourself about, or you feel shame, or you don't like how you behaved or whatever, I always say to myself, I'm pretty good around friends. I'm like, but I can be more difficult and challenging around family.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you get like a pass in your mind.
Well, I said, but made me go, I wonder if the perception of unconditional love takes those, it removes the checks and balances that, a friendship has. I can't just be...
You'll blow the friendship, but it's harder to blow a marriage or to blow your...
relationship with your kids or your mom or whatever,
Well, as somebody who has been very close to people who have decimated the relationship with their kids or their mom or their spouse, I've seen that a lot, especially when I was growing up. That does happen, and it is bad.
Right.
And, you know, I've seen that come from narcissistic tendencies in people.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to diagnose anybody as a narcissist or not, but
Sure.
like I've hung out with you and your kids and your wife.
Yeah.
And I've hung out with people who have destroyed those things, and the dynamic is very different.
Right.
I don't know. Personal experience speaks to that, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where when you're in it, you're like, it's like the fact that you're like, am I?
Right.
Is probably a good sign.
Well, and, you know, and I think, again, there's a spectrum, you know. I think, you know, some of the people you may have encountered have been, I don't know. And there's also a spectrum where it's like maybe both of us are full-blown narcissists, but the self-aware narcissist is so good at controlling their behavior because they don't want to lose their family.
I need to get into acting immediately then. I need to channel this.
Whereas the narcissist who has no self-awareness but still perceives of unconditional love, I don't know, and doesn't think there's going to be any consequences because they're so blind to it. Yeah. Obviously there are. There's only so much somebody will take, but obviously, you know, you read about narcissists and the first thought is like, am I a narcissist? And right.
And, maybe this is just something a narcissist would say. No.
Narcissist bastard.
I think I'm way too emotional about like, people. Like, I don't know. I'm too sensitive.
Right.
Like, I don't know if this sensitive narcissist is quite maybe that's just like me being a narcissist. No, but I mean, I'm a very, it's not easy to just wreck me. And then I'm really concerned with how this person is, like, how did I make this person feel? Or, and I try to be pretty aware of that in every interaction of like, oh man, like something's happened to me in the past where I've felt this way and I don't want to feel that way. And I'm going to go out of my way to make sure that I don't make another person feel that way. Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, especially in like your spousal relationship and stuff, that you fuck up.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the only thing for me that trips me up about self-diagnosis.
Next week, we're going to have a psychologist on the show.
Is just the grandiose aspect. Because whenever I read that aspect of narcissism, it freaks me out.
It's almost like a horoscope, though.
Yeah.
Like you read the horse, like you're like, oh, I'm a Capricorn. You're like, I'm a fucking Capricorn for sure.
Labeling and then becoming it because of the label.
You're like, I'm this sign. And then you're like, oh yeah, 100%, that's me. And then it's like, oh no, you misread that. You're actually this. It's like, oh well, that's definitely more me then.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. But arrogance, I think, you know, the things that you articulated that maybe push you away from any possibility of being a narcissist.
Oh, and I'm not saying like I don't have like a medical diagnosis.
No, I know.
No capability of doing that to myself. But
I think people, in the absence of maybe on a sociopath narcissistic spectrum, where sociopath is like, to me, the super extreme of that whole side of a human psychology. Arrogance is sort of like the extreme state of a non-narcissistic or sociopathic type person. Yeah. This is me. I am not like, obviously, like I haven't taken psychology courses. I am just speaking out of everything that I've read and done, just as sort of like a casual observer, not somebody that's studying human psychology. Yeah. So if anybody out there is listening and they're like, dude, you are way off. Please, I'm not trying to say this is what it is. This is just my interpretation of what I've pieced together in my life. But arrogance being an extreme state for sort of a non-narcissist sociopathic person. Yeah. And it is a dangerous cliff, and the consequences to me are complete solitude. Yeah. Yeah.
You said it during when you were speaking just a minute ago, but the thing I wrote down, and I try to read these, you know, a couple times a month. I'll just walk over and take a look, and use them as a check. But
Yeah.
I wrote down checks and balances.
Yeah.
And that's what comes to mind. And like, that's what those are. Obviously we've talked about these conversations, like using these conversations more towards that, state of the union with your family, with your spouse, with your, friends, things like that. Those are good. Looking yourself in the mirror, but checks and balances, I think arrogance is a dangerous cliff, and it's also a deeply human thing.
Yes.
Most people are arrogant as like their default state.
Or a learned state.
Yeah.
And the consequences, if they feel them,
Yeah.
may help them recover from arrogance. May.
Say that again.
That you move toward arrogance versus like born arrogant. You know? But you can move toward arrogance because consequences don't happen.
You somehow
double down,
I
double
gotcha.
down, double down. And then as things fall apart, you start getting pulled off toward the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
Some people figure out how to keep themselves from going
it definitely
over.
builds on itself. It feeds on itself. Arrogance arrogance breeds more arrogance.
Right.
And you can think of like, what is the cure to arrogance? It's like detachment from your sense of self. I think that's a very important thing. I think having checks and balances, having things that almost like pre-built or pre-designed speed bumps to kind of, am I being an arrogant piece of shit right now? Like, not only like, am I being a piece of shit? Because arrogance doesn't necessarily have to affect just on a relational level. It can affect just how you're, if we were talking about writing, if you write something and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, that's arrogance.
Absolutely.
And it's like, realistically, it's probably not. So, I mean, you can, but do you have that check and balance to where you're going to step back and, get out of the immediate rush of emotion and double check yourself to, okay, or, put it out. Now, there's also, there's a fine line between arrogance and like, I don't want to say like self-hatred. What's a better word for that? Arrogance and
no self-esteem or
I think there's a fine line between those two things.
Self-loathing.
And maybe like you said, arrogance is confidence gone astray.
Yeah.
So maybe it's more like maybe the black and white of it is more confidence and lack of self-esteem or self-hatred or whatever. But yeah, I think that's also something that I have to keep in mind.
Yeah, because to me, because confidence is like there's a kind, warm, loving person there, person capable of selflessness, whereas arrogance is probably an unkind, potentially cruel, selfish person.
Definitely
who thinks everything they do is right.
I think it's more of a detrimental behavior
than confidence. Yeah. And I think that was interesting. Like somebody's arrogance is going to inform their work. Part of me saying, think it, feel it, make it, send it is I get concerned about the grandiose aspect of narcissism with me, making me believe that if I made it,
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it can be sent immediately after creation because that unwavering element of my psyche that says you are meant to be some big thing makes you put everything out there and try everything you can to create that thing that's gonna align your existence with the grandiose idea of yourself.
Well, and like when we talk about arrogance breeds more arrogance, like success breeds success. Unchecked success kind of breeds failure eventually.
Yeah.
Which obviously then you're kind of giving into this idea of success failure as your goalpost or as you're measuring your points of measurement. But this idea that, if you, let's use photography. If you have a photo exhibit and it's a success,
Right.
then you're going to immediately, have that thought like, oh, I've reached this point where like, oh, I edited in my head, or, oh, I don't need to do this because X, Y, and Z, I figured this out. You can kind of start to get lenient with the processes that keep things on you could even say we got like arrogant about the podcast.
Yeah.
In a sense, like,
Right.
But you get lenient about these processes that, these
craft,
quality control,
the craft.
And, you start to just look for the next success, or you look forward through the process to like, okay, well, I know the process is there. I've mastered it. And in reality, I think the most useful thing to do is always be like, okay, let's get back to the process is the thing that never changes. We harp on it all the time, and there's a reason. It's like, if you get back to that always, and you never look forward to like the victory or the success or the whatever, it's a byproduct of, it shouldn't even be a byproduct that you aim for. It can just be a byproduct that is cool. But if the craft, in the constant refinement of the craft, and the respect of that is the intention, then I think you're setting yourself up for a much more sustainable output.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's a humility.
Humility.
It's this humility before the craft.
is the opposite, I think, of arrogance in a sense.
Yeah, humility.
Yeah. And not performative humility.
Right. No, exactly.
There is a difference.
Yep.
And we live in a world of performative humility.
And that's
everywhere.
Isn't there the phrase, faith in the process or believe in the process? That just the idea of you are not sort of worshiping at the altar of outcomes or how this feeds what you think you deserve, or all this ego and all this other stuff. It's just like, the craft is the thing, the discipline,
It's the only thing that matters. Yeah.
It's like, I think of like some of the kung fu movies, or Luke and Yoda, like they have to break you before they can train you.
Yeah.
Like Uma Thurman goes to the
you have to
kung
destroy
fu master.
your sense of
like she's so arrogant and cocky, he's got to put her in her place.
Well, it's big in her mind, right?
Yeah, big in her mind. Yeah. And that's interesting in that context.
Yeah.
But she had to be humbled before she could truly master
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good place to call it. I have to pee, so.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the sunrise.